Hey, y'all. It is Media Maverick Monday. It's Media Maverick Monday. Make sure y'all let me know if you can hear me. Somebody say something to me. Say something to me. Let me know that. Hey, y'all. I see y'all filing in. Can y'all hear me and see me? Okay. All right. So Karen, that's a yes. All right, so y'all know we don't waste no time. Hey, Miss Deborah, welcome to my Tuesdays. No, I'm confused. What day is it? It's Media Maverick Monday. It's Media Maverick Monday. It's Media Maverick Monday. So I am thrilled because the last time I did something like this, I had no idea that y'all would find so much value in it when I broke down these interviews. And so anytime, something like this pops off and I see it in the media, I'm like, oh yeah, I got to tell my babies. I got to tell my noisemakers. I got to tell them. And as soon as it was funny because many of you know, and you look forward to my comment or my commentary on these things. And so when y'all start tagging me like, TJ, have you seen this? What you got to say? So I finally, I think I let a day or so go by before I stopped down to actually watch it. And when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I have got to actually talk about this because, and I want to be clear. So here's the disclaimer. I don't really am not concerned about how you feel about Omarosa. Okay. I'm not really concerned if you like her, you don't like her. This is strictly about how well she handled the media. And right now we're only going to deal with Lamont, you're not too late. We just started. We're only going to deal with her Today Show interview. But I saw her on the Daily Show. She was like killing the game. I loved every moment of it. And I'll put it out there. I'm not a fan of Omarosa's, but I do give her props for a job well done. So let me just put that out there. So turn off your I can't stand her, I don't like her, and turn off her. But then I guess if you love her, then then it's gonna be fine. But for the sake of this media tip, turn off what you feel about her. And for those of you who are tuning in, who are genuinely interested in doing beast level interviews, just listen to what I have to say about it, and you'll start seeing it. And when you see on her in other interviews, you'll start seeing it because last year or early this year, I forget when I did Kellyanne Conway, another White House insider. It was whenever it was when the whole alternative facts hit. I was doing the same thing. I don't care what you feel about her, but look how well her interviews are. She controls the interview. And the one thing that I teach my media mavericks is you have to, hey, Joseph, Joe, good to see you. Well, one thing you have to do, especially as one of my media mavericks, when you work with me on the DIY level, or if you are working with me on the one-on-one level, is you have to control the interview respectfully. Because, and the reason why I say that is they don't know your brand. They don't know. I teach my mavericks to serve. We do not promote. We go and solve a problem. We actually and address problems and present solutions. That is what I approach with media for, because none of my mavericks are celebrities, really. Not the ones that work with me on the media level. I have celebrities that I coach on their keynotes and stories, but that's a whole different ball game. But for those of you who are really genuinely seeking how to actually crush your interviews and get invited back and be engaging with the host, an interview for me in Media Maverick land is not an interview. It is a conversation. It is a conversation between two people where thousands, sometimes millions of people get to eavesdrop on. So when you're looking at how we're going to dissect this, I want you to pay attention just to the techniques of how she masterfully controlled the interview to her pace. All right. So I'm going to share the screen. And then once I start the audio, y'all, make sure Y'all tell me you can hear the audio. Okay, so I'm getting ready to hit play.
Entered the public eye, of course, in 2004.
Let me know if you hear the audio.
A star contestant on the first season of The Apprentice and then The Celebrity Apprentice in 2008. Nearly a decade later, the Trump campaign came calling, and after Trump's election victory, so did the White House. Omarosa joined the administration as Director of Communications for the White House Office of Public Liaison, focusing on African-American outreach. She was fired by Chief of Staff John Kelly last December in a meeting in the Situation Room that she recorded. Well, now Omarosa is providing NBC News with a new exclusive excerpt of a phone call she says she received from the president the day after her firing.
Omarosa.
So already, first tip, already she came with what we call B-roll. She came with the stats, the video, the credentials to back up what her segment is going to be about. She came in already with proof of, I'm doing this segment and here's my proof to back up what I'm saying. So I just had a conversation with one of my clients who's a hair loss expert, and we were working out what her details is for her national segment. So we're crafting out, what is your proof that what you do works? How can we come with the proof that you are able to change the game with millions of women who are losing their hair for whatever reason? So out the gate, she came with receipts to back up.
Omarosa, what's going on? I just saw on the news that you're thinking about leaving. What happened?
And here's the other thing. What I'm willing to bet, just like, when I'm teaching, we had our first week of classes in the DIY program last week, and I started laying the foundation of, here are some of the things you need to be thinking about in anticipation of your segment. So it's a little bit extreme, but it's like, Omarosa knew this day was coming. Girlfriend is smart. You ain't got to like her, but she's strategic. She playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. So she was collecting data for her media appearances long before there was a book written, long before she had done the first media segment. That's no different than what you should be doing. Start collecting your data, start collecting your B-roll, start collecting your media assets that you will be using for your segment. She knew she was going to do this. Come on, girlfriend, she's a Howard alum too. So she is not stupid. So she started collecting stuff because she was being strategic.
General Kelly came to me and said that you guys wanted me to leave.
No, nobody even told me about it. Nobody,
Wow.
They run a big operation, but I didn't know it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
God damn it. I don't love you leaving at all.
Well, Omarosa is now out with a new book. It's called Unhinged. It provides an inside look at both the Trump campaign and the White House, the administration already hitting back, saying the book is, quote, riddled with lies and false accusations. And that brings us to Omarosa, who joins us now. Good morning. Good to see you.
Glad to be back here at the Today Show.
Nice to see you. I should let you know I am recording.
Okay, so the only thing that I don't like about this, I just don't think this was the right dress for her for the Today Show. I just don't. I love the color, but strapless, and we're talking business. We're talking politics. We're talking, in other interviews I've seen her, she looked great, but on this, I don't like this choice. I really don't, because Dr. Ali says too glam. It was almost too, we're going to go stroll on the boardwalk on a summer day right before we take a picnic. I don't agree with this choice of outfit.
This conversation.
Oh, very good. What a coincidence.
Yes, you brought us a new tape.
She's slowing it down. She's already starting to control the tempo. She's looking totally unbothered. Now, here's also what I want you to also remember. Omarosa can do this because everybody wants to hear what she has to say in this aspect. Okay? Some of the things I'm teaching you, y'all can't get away with. But she's already laying the foundation of how calm she is. She's laid back. She's taking her tea or her coffee or whatever she's drinking because she's just like, I'm here. Y'all want to hear what I have to say. All right?
The president, the day after you were fired, we just heard it, He says he didn't know about it. He doesn't like you leaving the White House. Is he lying in that tape?
I'm not certain, but what's most concerning, one, why was I locked in the Situation Room for almost 2 hours? Why was I not allowed to leave?
Boom! Out the gate! Out the gate! Girlfriend did exactly what I teach my Mavericks. She was asked the question, she briefly answered it, and then she pivoted on what she wanted to talk about. Out the gate, first question, she did the darn thing. She had already, I put this out there. I don't know if Omarosa has been coached or she is just a natural at this. She's mastered this. But out the gate, she was asked a question and she immediately pivoted into what she came prepared to talk about. I have to teach my Mavericks. They will take you, your host, if you answer something and it's fascinating to them, they will take you down a rabbit hole. Where was I? My client just did KTLA Los Angeles. And the executive producer in her prep of her, I was in the green room, and the executive producer of her prep of her told her, listen, know your talking points, because they will take that interview into a whole different direction. And then your ROI, what you were expecting from this interview, doesn't happen because they haven't spent 3 minutes talking about something. And a TV interview typically in a regular news typically is 3 to 5 minutes. So you'll spend 2.5 of your minutes going down this rabbit hole with this host if you don't learn how to actually redirect and control the conversation. All right.
Get to the second part. Yeah. And lastly, when I asked,
okay, so let's back up a little.
Didn't know about it. He doesn't like you leaving the White House. Is he lying in that tape?
I'm not certain, but what's most concerning, one, why was I locked in the Situation Room for almost 2 hours? Why was I not allowed to leave? I'll get to the second part. Yeah. And lastly, when I asked to leave,
already she's controlling the pace because she can see the girl is trying to jump in, and she was like, hold on, I'm gonna answer you. I'm going to get to the second part.
I asked for counsel and I asked for my husband. Why was I denied at least 4 times? When I spoke to him and he said he had no idea, that should be alarming to any American, that the president of the United States does not know what's happening with an assistant to the president who's no.
So she's controlling the narrative. She's telling us, okay, here's what y'all should be thinking. Basically, and I'm trying to translate this in ways that y'all can use this. So basically, the host is asking this question, but here's a better question, and let me give you the solution. Hers is, here's the question. I'm going to briefly answer your question. I'm going to pivot to what I want to tell you about. Now I'm going to tell you what y'all really need to be concerned about is, are you catching this? I mean, it's brilliant.
Known him for 15 years.
Okay, but you brought the tape.
Absolutely.
Is he lying? Because yesterday you told Chuck on Meet the Press you think he did know you were fired.
Yes, because
this tape shows him saying, "Oh, I didn't know you were fired." Is he lying?
Yes, because there were subsequent calls after that.
Okay.
There is a complete organization between the two of them.
Just see how she's smooth with it. She ain't in no hurry. She just slowing the pace. Whereas Savannah is like, and she's like, no, absolutely.
Probably instructed General Kelly to do it so that he could keep his hands clean when he spoke to me. I'm wondering, is he sincere? The other question is General Kelly running this country or is the president running this country? Because he said he didn't know and they run a big operation.
Who is the honesty issue?
Wait,
the president lies often?
Who is the they in the tape? You can't ask the question and then ask another question without my answer.
Oh my God. Oh, when she did that, I was like, girl, you better. Okay, now, this is one of the times like y'all can't do this though. Y'all can't do this because especially if you're going on the expertise, you've got to naturally just kind of slow it down yourself. You've got to naturally just don't get caught up in them, taking you down this rabbit hole. Omarosa and, celebrities can get away with this because the outlets want them on. You don't want to tick off your hosts because last time I checked, everybody here, they not rolling on this level. So you want to be gracious and still get your point across. Now, if you find yourself in some viral hot water and you actually got to get on here and, defend yourself or explain yourself, then maybe because everybody's chomping at the bit to get a piece of you. But for the most part, those of y'all who are here, everybody's chomping at the bit to get a piece of you. So you can do that. But I was like, girlfriend, you better just slow her down and say, and because then it almost makes Savannah seemed, what's the word? Amateurish. Because she's like, you understand, you're asking me a question. I'm trying to answer, but you won't let me. So it was almost kind of like a gentle, childish kind of rebuke, for lack of a better word. Okay, so wait, let me go back a little.
And they run a big operation.
Back
Who
to
is
the
the
honesty
they?
issue.
Wait,
The president lies
Savannah.
often.
Who is the they in the tape? You can't ask the question and then ask another question without my answer. You asked me, do you think he knows? The answer is,
you're not sure.
I'm not certain. Here's the other part.
Okay, so here's the other thing that I have to coach my clients to do. And she, once again, has demonstrated this. She's listening to the host. You can't get, and it's something that I drill, especially with my one-on-one clients. I trick them because I prepared them for this. Because once I've taught them and we've worked out what their talking points are, and I know they know their talking points, then I'll start coming at them 50 million other kind of ways to make sure they're listening to the question and not so heavy into their head about what they practice their talking point is. She actually listened because she repeated it back to her. So she's fully engaged. And the way you become fully engaged is that you know what you are coming to do and what you're going to say. Because then you're just looking for the way to pivot into the answer you want to give. She knew her talking points. She knew I'm willing to bet come hell or high water. She thought to herself, come hell or high water, I'm making sure I say he's lying. I'm making sure that the American people are asking themselves, why was I locked in? She knew. So then she could be fully engaged and so she's listening to Savannah.
Who's running this country? When Donald Trump says that they run a big operation, who is the they? Is General Kelly puppeting Donald Trump?
Okay.
Is he truly running this country instead of the president?
Do you think the president lies often?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, there was
How long have you known that?
There was a report that said that he lied almost 4,000.
Look at that. Look at that right there. So Savannah asked her a question. She jumped in, she answered it. And she was getting ready to actually explain. Savannah asked her another question. She didn't go and try to answer that question. She finished her talking point. She's controlling the interview.
And lies in the last year.
Have you known that he is a liar, as you say?
Well, absolutely.
Why did you work for him?
Savannah, slow down. I'm going to ask your question. Don't worry, I'm here. I've got all the time.
Yeah, no, but
So you don't have to ask 10 questions in 1 second. It's okay.
When she did that, I was like, yo, all righty then. Like, I'm getting ready to actually chastise you on your own show. I'm getting ready to, because what she's done has now kind of unwittingly and not even intentionally got us on her side, because Savannah looks like she's the one like, I got to get all these questions. And Omarosa is saying like, no, I'm here. I'm going to answer all your questions to the best of my ability. So let's just slow down and calm down. And she showed her it was the best. When I first saw this initially, I was just screaming because I'm like, go on, girl.
First of all, he is known to be an entertainer, to exaggerate, but I never expected him to lie to the country. I thought that he would take his oath of office seriously, that he would be committed to advancing this country. But instead, as I stated, there was a report that said he has said something like 4,000 lies since he's taken office. So he absolutely has an issue with the truth. And sometimes he battles with reality.
Yeah, let's talk about the tape of the Situation Room. You talked about it. You obviously want to talk about it. John Kelly inside the Situation Room. Before we get to the substance of it, I'm just curious. How did you tape him? The Situation Room is one of the most secure places in the White House. You're supposed to leave your phone. It's the honor system. You're supposed to leave your devices at the door. Did you carry a phone or recording device? How did you do it?
I'll just leave that to your imagination. I will say this.
Well, why
it's
be
unacceptable. Coy? I'm not being coy.
Okay, so
I'm
how
being
did you
very,
do it?
very clear here. It's not acceptable for 4 men to take a woman into a room, lock the door and tell her wait, and tell her that she cannot leave. It also is unacceptable.
Boom, she just pivoted again. Yeah, I was getting ready to say that, Dr. Alice. Savannah slowed down, but she just pivoted again. She's like, I'm not being coy. But I'm going to spin it to like the question we should be talking about is why would you lock a woman in her room? I'm not going to answer that. She just said, I'm going to leave it to your imagination. I'm not being coy. We need to talk about why she controlled the narrative. She spun it right back. Girlfriend is smooth. You love her, hate her. You can't deny she's smooth.
Acceptable to not allow her to have her lawyer or her counsel. And the moment I said, I would like to leave, and they said I can't go, it became false imprisonment. Calm down. And
I was like, what in the world Savannah doing over there that Omarosa is going, calm down. Do I have to tell you one more time? I'm here. Calm down.
The other part of this is I'm going to tell you that there are other people who've been treated this way by General Kelly. There's a lot of very corrupt things that are happening in the White House, and I am going to blow the whistle on a lot of this.
Are you concerned at all about any legal consequences for taping in the Situation Room? But are you
concerned?
Are you?
Absolutely not.
Boom! She was like, she pivoted again. I'm not really answering that. They should be concerned. Like, I'm going to throw this out there as a veiled, y'all better watch what you're doing. Are you sure you want to come for me? For this woman?
Because I have protections. The moment that I've decided to blow the whistle on a lot of the corruption going on in the White House, there are protections that are afforded to me. So let's be clear. The things that General Kelly is doing in this White House should concern all Americans.
You've heard, I'm sure by now, what Sarah Huckabee Sanders had to say about the fact that this tape happened. What does it say about your own integrity if you're going around taping General Kelly in the Situation Room, which is supposed to be secure, taping President Trump at least once, and I think you've indicated more than that. Why are you taping people, and what does that say about you?
But don't you see the irony of all people, Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying that this book is full of lies?
Pivoted again. Pivoted again. Like, I ain't asking the questions. Yep, Crystal says, bam, there is a whistleblower act. Yep, girlfriend, she and her crew, her squad is just beast. She's beast, but she pivoted again. Don't you think it's interesting? That
when she lies to the American people every day.
And the right part, two wrongs don't make a right. I guess you're here before me, so I'm asking you,
Savannah. Had I not recorded this, people would say she.
Okay, so I did like how Savannah came back and was finally like on her feet. Like, okay, two wrongs don't make a right, but you're here right now. I'll ask Sarah when she comes on the show, but you right here in my face. So I'm asking you.
It's a credibility issue. Everything that's in my book, Unhinged, everything that you see is in quotes, is verifiable, it's documented, and it's corroborated.
Why did you feel?
Boom, she slid her book in there. She slid her book in there, and she said everything's in the book, my book, Unhinged. She gave the title. So if people have been living under a rock, one of the things I teach my Mavericks is you have to take into consideration that when viewers are doing this in the morning and they are getting kids ready for school, they are, fussing with their husband to get them out the door on time, or fussing with the wife, or where his latest his sock is, his sock. I said shock. So you have to actually make sure you slide this in. So she slid it in just smooth. Like, she didn't tell you, go buy my book. She didn't say that. She was like, everything I'm saying to you is backed up. Why do y'all think I always, if you've ever watched me teach, the first thing I say is, baby, I'm coming with receipts. You ain't got to take my word for it. Through this whole presentation, I'm going to keep dropping receipts on you. That's essentially what she's saying. But she slid it in there so smooth.
You had to record.
Because the first thing they do when someone leaves the White House, Savannah, is say they don't have credibility. They're just a coffee person. They didn't have access. They never talked to the president. They weren't in the room.
Why would you work in a cesspool like that?
Well, first of all, it's an honor to serve this country. Unfortunately, this White House has turned that upside down. Where
I love that answer. I love that answer because she then made it relatable to everybody. If she didn't see what she's smooth and adept at is she's not defending herself. She's involving all of us. She's involving all of us of saying it is an honor to work in the White House. And depending on your belief system or who you believe is in office, I you know, to be honest, if I insert my own political opinion, this will probably be the only White House that I would have a problem being honored to work in. But I don't care if it was Bush, Clinton, Carter, whoever. It is an honor to work in the White House. You know, it is. And that was a great answer, because then it was like, I'm no different than anybody else, y'all. Why would I turn down this opportunity? Why would I not go? Exactly. Renee was saying it's very patriotic. Like, why would I not go do something that puts me on the inside of serving my country? You best believe, I don't think I can work for President Trump. I don't. I'm just going to be very honest with you, because I got my own issues that started with Trump while I worked on his show. So my issues don't have nothing to do with his presidency. It goes deeper than that. I don't think I could actually be a media coach for President Trump, but I could be a media coach for everybody else. I could, you know, because when I coach, I turn off what I believe, and my job is to help you deliver your point. So that would be an honor to do that, to serve the president of the United States. So I love that she did that.
This White House does not respect normal procedures that usually go with the dignity of serving in the White House. I thought it would.
Notice those buzzwords: honor, dignity. Like, it's just brilliant. Like, she's planting the seed. She's enrolling us on her team of, like, y'all understand what I'm saying. She's using the buzzwords that the people that she wants behind her, that we don't feel like that this particular White House has dignity. I don't care if you disagree with me. I'm just saying, honestly, the truth of, there's part of our country that does not feel like the White House is having dignity. So is operating with dignity. So she's aligning with that. Brilliant.
Would be different, but unfortunately, Donald Trump is letting the country down.
Let's talk about one of the most explosive allegations in the book. And actually,
there's a lot.
Subsequently, there are many. There are.
I love it. Don't get it twisted, baby. You want to talk about the most explosive, but readers, viewers, there's a lot. My book is packed with just
luckily you said you'd be here a while, so we're good. Subsequently, you said you've actually heard. You told Chuck on Meet the Press yesterday that you have heard a tape from the Apprentice years in which Donald Trump is heard using the N-word, a racial epithet.
Multiple times.
You heard the tape.
Multiple times. Now, let me be clear. I wasn't the one that broke the story about the N-word tape. It happened during the fall, during the campaign. And people were contacting me, reaching out to me, trying to expose this. And in fact, there was a conference call among campaign workers, Jason Miller, Lynn Patton, and Katrina Pearson, where we talked about the possibility of him saying it. And his own spokesperson, Katrina Pearson, said, I have heard from a credible source that yes, he said it.
But I had you here before me. You actually.
Okay, side note, I'll just say this, that the N-word, the only time in 20 years of working in television, the only time I had to deal with the N-word was on a Donald Trump show. It didn't come from his mouth. But that is the only time in 20 years that I had to deal with the N-word on all the other dozens of shows I've worked on.
Actually heard the tape.
Absolutely.
So let's get into it. How long is this tape?
There are multiple tapes. Let's establish that. And when you read my book tomorrow, which is available tomorrow on Unhinged, you'll see that there are 3.
She slid that in there again. She slowed it down. Well, first of all, I want to make sure that I'm educating the listeners, the viewers correctly. There's multiple tapes. So she's not just going with the conversation. She's making sure that she actually, exactly, Lamont says she peppered in names. So exactly, she peppered in names as little receipts. And she's aligning herself with other people that may carry credibility.
3 different sources who corroborate the different things
but
that
you
he
say
says.
You have, since the book closed and was published and put in print.
You have heard it.
How long is that tape?
It's about 3 minutes.
Is it audio or video? Because it's supposed to be camera outtake.
It's audio.
Okay. And what is the context?
But
how
I'm
is
going to allow you,
this?
just like most Americans, to read the book.
But this isn't in the book.
No. But the talk about the N-word tape is throughout the book.
You heard this
Have you read the book?
Yes, but have you?
Okay. I have. I answered that question, Savannah. So what's the next question?
Just
Lord have mercy, Jesus. I ain't got, y'all know by now. Like, she once again, I've answered that question. So what is your next question? And then just calm with it. Like, just so calm with it.
Curious the context in which you allege the president
He was
used the
talking
N-word.
about some African Americans in the production during the course of The Apprentice, which is unacceptable. And here's the thing. Why don't we ask Donald Trump a simple question?
Pivot. Here's the thing. Why don't, just pivot into what I want to tell you. Just pivot in what I want to tell you.
Donald J. Trump, have you ever used the N-word? And allow him to respond.
She hears the problem. Here's the solution. Just go ask him. Just ask him. Because now she put him on the defense. Just ask him a simple question. Problem. Remember, I'm trying my best to make it so that y'all can see yourselves in this of what to do and what you can't do. But here's the problem. Here's the solution. I'm coming both ways for you.
Because the people who have this tape intend to release this tape. Unfortunately, like I said, they may be using it for political motivation. So why don't we simply ask the White House to issue a statement whether or not the president of the United States—
Do you think they will release it?
I'd like to see. I would like to see if Sarah Huckabee Sanders, as the spokesperson, will ask the president, or maybe a journalist will ask the president, have you ever uttered that word about African Americans?
Okay, so let me use that too. Okay, so you saw that stumble. When I coach a lot of my clients, they get caught up in when I see their interview, the first thing they point out is when they stumbled or misspoke or something like that. And I have to unpack that for them and say, well, when you're having a conversation with somebody, do you stumble in your thoughts? What happens is we go for perfection in our heads, but no one, when she got caught over the word ever, never, hold on, hear it again.
Will ask the president, or maybe a journalist will ask the president, have you ever uttered that word about African Americans?
Now, did you judge her for that? Were you looking at like, oh, she just doesn't know how to speak. She just can't. No. How many times have y'all seen me get tongue-tied and forget my train of thought on here and be like, okay, y'all, somebody tell me, what was I trying to say? Because I got distracted because somebody said I was cute. Somebody said I was awesome. And I got distracted. What was I saying? That is what happens when you're doing a conversation and not an interview. You didn't even, unless I stopped it, you probably wouldn't have even noticed it. You probably would not have even noticed that she stumbled like that. But she stumbled over that word 3 times. When you're doing interviews, it is going to happen. Keep going. And even acknowledge, like, Lord, I don't know why I can't get my words straight today. And just keep going. And just keep going. You don't get caught up in your heads like, oh my gosh, I sucked. I don't ever want anybody to see that clip because they're going to think that I don't know how to speak. No, if I'm teaching you that an interview is just a conversation which you got 500,000 million eavesdroppers, then you're just going to be your natural self. And so she's comfortable in who she is. She knows she's prepped. So if she gets caught up trying to get a word out, it's not affecting her confidence. It's actually just her being human. Okay.
And let him answer.
You now say, not just because of this tape, but because of other matters, that you believe the president to be a racist and a misogynist. This is a theme of your book.
Absolutely.
Let me play what you said on ABC about whether the president is a racist the day after you were fired.
Yes.
Do you think this president is racist?
Absolutely not. I would never sit nor work for someone who I believe to be a racist. Donald Trump is racial, but he is not a racist.
So why did you say then he's not a racist?
First of all,
you say that was the day after you left.
First of all, I had just come out of, like you said, the day after I left.
Watch this spin. Just listen to this spin. Just listen to the spin.
Just been threatened by General Kelly, who said that things could get ugly for me, that there would be damage to my reputation. So I was being very careful because I came out of that situation room. I was terrified.
But why?
I was concerned about I'm almost done.
Yeah.
I was very concerned.
There she go
about
again.
my well
Like, can you stop interrupting me? I'm trying to answer your question.
being, about what these powerful people would do to me after they threatened me. And clearly, after they released the story that I was running around the White House, which we now know to be not true. So I was being very cautious about what I said, as to not upset these folks who still, in fact, have my belongings, who are saying that they won't return them. And in fact, someone told me in the White House that they had destroyed some of my personal effects, and I want them back, Savannah.
What about mental health? That is another part of the interview. You said that
I'm almost
talk about the book is called
Okay, so wait, hold on. So in her answer, the wording once again she used, if you've had any kind of job or been in any workforce, or if you've been let go, how many of y'all have ever been fired from a job? I was fired from a job and, didn't do anything wrong, and they still had security want to escort me out. And then I ended up learning that the reason why I was let go is because the executive producers wanted her nephew to have my position. But it can be intimidating. It can be intimidating. So Renee's saying she's very consistent with explaining why she's being inconsistent, but it's plausible. You think about it, and here's what's just the beauty of it. It's so plausible. She's made the case of what happened through the whole interview. So now it's totally plausible that she could have been terrified. That this is the White House. And then for me, it's, how many movies have we seen that the government is killing folks have been whistleblowers? So it's like, we can totally see why she would actually say this. And then the day after go on and try to calm it down. Like, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I'm saying this because I'm terrified. I'm not sure that was really the case, but it's plausible when you hear her spin it like this. It's totally plausible. Reneka says, I worked in HR. It's a very intimidating setup intentionally when we let someone go. Ellen, and when you talk about it, it's like reliving it. Dr. Alley says, nah, I ain't buying that. I'm with you, Dr. Alley. I'm just saying that what she has done expertly is explain a way to something plausible. I ain't saying necessarily fully believable. I said plausible. Kamir says it also leads to why she kept recording conversations following her firing. Lisa says, look what they did to Kennedy. She was smart to be scared. Gerard, Omarosa is a masterclass on these reporters. She's made great TV and plays anchors like a fiddle. Total command. Yup, exactly. So now she's back to controlling the interview. I'm backing up just a little bit so we can see her spin into this.
Right, some of my personal effects, and I want them back, Savannah.
What about mental health?
That's the other thing that I teach my clients, that we haven't heard her do it before. I think she has, but she's referring to her by name. Savannah, when you're doing your talking points, make sure it feels like a conversation. Because when I talk to Reneka, when I talk to Andrea, when I talk to Tish, when I talk to any of my people, my mama, I'm always like, Ma, come on now, Ma. I'm going to naturally say her name at some point in a lengthy conversation. That's what you do to keep it feeling like it's a conversation.
That is another part of the interview. You said that
I'm almost.
You talk about the book is called Unhinged.
You know that we have an interview right after this. Yeah, I know that you want to go with more time, but I will answer your last question, and you see that the time is.
Yeah, what time?
Oh my gosh, she is on here directing the segment, like. Because if you've never done television, in your window, they are holding up a sign that tells you how much longer you have on air. So she's watching this, and she pointed out she's like, okay, you know that we got this other interview, and you see that they're giving us the time. Like pronounced Shamir. Got it, Shamir. But you see that I'm trying to help you. Help me help you. I'm telling you that the time is almost over.
You need to go.
No, you know that it's a 7-minute interview.
Watch this. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, I'm trying to be quiet through this. Hold on.
With more time. But I will answer your last question, and you see that the time is.
Yeah, what time do you need to go?
No, you know that it's a 7-minute interview. Now we're at 10.
Are
So,
we? I don't
your
know.
last
I actually don't know the time. But if you want to answer it, if you got to go,
I'm going to say this to you. The book comes out tomorrow.
Okay, so what she did right there sounded generous. She sounded generous, like, you know, I agreed to sit down and talk to you for 7 minutes. I've given you 3 extra minutes. We're now 10. Now, again, guys, y'all can't do this, but I just wanted you to pick up elements of how you actually control the pace of an interview. Some of this you can do. You can slow it down. Okay? But she made herself look generous, like, well, I'm doing you a favor. I agreed to 7 minutes and I've been here for 10. And so Savannah is back on the defensive.
All of this is in the book, and I hope that your viewers will take an opportunity to read it and learn about this incredible journey that I had for 15 years with the President of the United States. And every single thing that you've heard on that tape is in this book, and many more.
The book is called Unhinged. Who does that refer to?
Oh, Donald J. Trump, absolutely.
Do you think he's mentally competent to do this job?
No, I don't think he's fit. And as we heard on the recording that you just played, he doesn't even know what's happening in his White House. John Kelly is running this White House, and Donald Trump has no clue what's going on. He's being puppeted, and that's very dangerous for this nation.
Omarosa, if you really got to go, I got to stack more questions.
I'm not afraid, but
you're right here live on the Today Show.
I am live, but I have an interview right after this with someone else.
All right. The book is Unhinged, as you mentioned. Omarosa, thank you very much. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our...
That right there, just brilliant. She handled it. So what are some of your takeaways while we wrap this down? What are some of your takeaways? Gerard says they didn't spare expense on the dress. You can't look away. The TV rules for darker skin to wear dark clothing or red. She wears yellow and stuns the world. She also moved too fast. Lamont says she made it sound like she was in demand and had to go. Yup. Lisa says, after I watched this interview, I gave her a standing O. Believe her or not, she did it. Yep. Gerard says she sips the Coke, throwing shade. Reneka says Savannah might need to go have a drink. The whole interview. And again, it comes down to regardless of you believe her, regardless of if you like her, love her, hate her, whatever. She did her thing on this interview, and she's done her thing, she has been consistent. I loved her interview on The Daily Show. She's controlling the narrative. She's got them worried about what she's going to say. And then I think on one interview, I think it was The Daily Show, where I saw her, she said the line, the interviewer, whoever it was like, well, they have tapes. And she goes, my tapes are better. And just let that hang in the air. Like, let it hang in the air. Pamela says she took control. Tamika, she was confident, she was comfortable and set the pace, and she had all her proof. Shamir says, Shamir says she kept a smile on her face even during tough moments. Yep. I saw the same interview and still have the same reaction. I can't stand her, but I have to give this woman her props on controlling the reporters. That's all this was about. Just giving her props of how she actually used some of the techniques that I teach y'all to implement for your interviews. Shadell says, deep, wow, backwards. I loved it. In control. It had me on the edge of my seat. Dr. Alley says she did the same thing on Apprentice. Reneka, what's also interesting is she's doing exactly what Trump did in his Make America Great campaign. Once you become relatable, it's a wrap. That's it. That's the whole point. When you're doing interviews, you're there solving a problem, and you're actually there to you're there to help people relate to you. So that's all I got for y'all today. So if you are interested in learning how to rock your interview like this, we just had the first week of Media Mavericks Masters, which is my DIY program. I'm teaching it live for 10 weeks. We got 9 more weeks to go. So if you are in the category where you need to be a maverick, you need to learn how to not only book yourself, but actually rock your interviews on this level, I invite you, I encourage you, I suggest that you run over. And Reneka, what are we going to send them? It didn't dawn on me because I wasn't planning on doing this. but where are we going to send them? Because just in case they want more of, why don't you go into the Noisemaker Squad on Facebook, because this is going to go on YouTube and IGTV. Go on the Noisemaker Squad on Facebook. Where are we sending them, Reneka? Let me see. Oh, I know where. Hold on. Send them to the partner group. Okay, so you got the partner group link, Reneka? I have it. Let me see if I can post it in here for y'all. But in the meantime, let's count it down. I'm out. I'm happy this seems to be, oh, okay. So we have a Facebook group of I Want to Be a Maverick where you can tag Reneka. I can't do it on my computer, Neka. For some reason, it's not letting me type in the comments, but it'll be in the comments at some point between Reneka or myself. Neither one of us were ready because it didn't dawn on me that I should actually invite you to come play with us in Media Maverick Land. But in the meantime, let's count it down. Shidell says, so how many ways can this be newsjack? I would have to think about that, Shidell, because this was my newsjack of it. Lynn says, this was such an extra good lesson. You are welcome, Lynn. I would love to do more of these because y'all do seem to get value out of them when I do this. Okay, Reneka, there it goes. Reneka put go in that group. And while we're saying is you need a partner, what we're doing, go to the partner group because I'm doing something savage. I'm actually making it so that you can enroll and bring a friend for free. So if you need a partner, go to that group that Reneka just posted, tag Reneka so she can be in there with you because next class is on Thursday. You need to try to catch up to what we did last week. But you're not too far behind. So I actually, would love to have you so I can show you more insider stuff of my sweet sauce of how my Mavericks killed the game. Because my Mavericks learn how to control their interviews as well. Makita says, when you newsjack, doesn't it have to be about your topic? Not necessarily if you just want to newsjack, but it's best if it is your topic. Because that's why that's the whole point of newsjacking. Newsjacking is inserting yourself into the conversation. So it doesn't have to. But it should be a part of the conversation because that's the point, that you are letting people know that you are. Masudi asking, just got out of a meeting. How do I see the replay of this? It's going to be up on my Facebook page. And then I'll probably send it out to the email list. So if you're not on my email list, go to IamAnoisemaker.com. IamAnoisemaker.com. And that where you will actually get the whole newsjacking guide. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about with newsjacking is the one thing that can blow up your business, your book, your brand instantly. And so many of my Mavericks are killing the game using that technique. So I've written a quick read book about it. If you go to IamAnoisemaker.com, you can get the book completely free. And then when this replay goes out, in the list, probably at some point tomorrow, you will get this replay, but it is going to live on my my page, and it's going to be in the Noisemaker Squad too. So if you're not already in the Noisemaker Squad, I suggest you join that. All right, LaShonda says, I newsjacked and wrote a blog about how she promoted her book. Yep, you sure did. You sure did, and it was a good newsjack. Karen says, I am a media maverick, and the training is awesome. And I've been in a week and already have learned lots. Because I'm brilliant. You got a brilliant coach, Karen. Is it Karen or Karen? It's Karen. I can't remember. And I think I said to you, please give me grace if I forget. So this is the grace. So quick. How about that? How about I just call you by your last name? Quick. I know how to pronounce that. That's because you just have a great coach. And it's only going to get better. You ain't seen nothing yet, honey. This week is going to be bomb when we talk about crafting your segment. So kind of what Omarosa had to do to get ready for this interview. Tamika says, yes, you are. I love the class. Yay! Reneka says, dang, I want to watch the replay too and eat some popcorn. All right, y'all. So that's it. I'm glad that from I can tell. Oh, hi, Pumpkin Andrea. That's what most folks call me, Quick. Okay. So if nothing else, I'm going to count it down. And I don't know what we're going to talk about next Monday, but I'm glad. For me, this makes my heart happy because I love when I can teach you guys things that shift how you think, that expand what's possible for you, and that is valuable. So from the looks of it, I've done my job, and I'm thrilled that I've done my job. Gerard says you rock. And like, yes, I do, Gerard, because I suck at a lot of things, but media ain't one, baby. All right, so let's count it down. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Hey, Miss Brenda. 5, 4. Linda says, yes, you are a brilliant coach. Learning so much and so excited about the class. Yay. Those are my Mavericks. Thanks, Crystal. 4, 3, 2. Gerard says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rhythm Nation. 1. All right, baby. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later.